Bumblebee might be the first film to ever rickroll its audience, because somebody's got to do it. Hey everyone, this is Peter. Thank you for tuning in and watching this. We're going to talk about Bumblebee today, and I gotta make a confession, I've only seen the first two films. Now listen guys, I have gone back to that first entry and watched it 3 or 4 times. Every single viewing, I pretty much walk away with the same reaction, and it's just not a good movie. I think it's pretty bad, actually. And I ended up watching the sequel, which I didn't think got any better, so I stopped there until I saw the trailer for this one. The movie is directed by Travis Knight, who mainly comes from animated features, so this is his first live-action venture. And Hailee Steinfeld, she's come such a long way, especially when you think True Grit, 3 Days to Kill, the Pitch Perfect trilogy, and now she's arrived in this massive blockbuster. So she can really take her acting abilities that she's earned, especially I believe she's Oscar nominated for True Grit, and let it shine here, which she absolutely does. And by the way, in my cinema light box over here, you'll notice that the third B in Bumblebee is actually the number 8, and that's because it only comes with 2 letters in the alphabet, so I had to get creative, or something. Well, that was fucking weird. We have to talk about the intro to this movie, because it takes place on Cybertron, this big planet, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, I'm not going to mention beat by beat what happens here, but it just made me feel like a little kid again, watching the cartoon show and the original movie, which I don't remember all that well, and playing with my toys and being a small child in the late 80s and a kid throughout the 90s. You can't beat that. So once this movie gets to Earth, it feels very grounded. No pun intended. You see, Hailee Steinfeld's character, Charlie, has been through some trauma. No spoilers, I don't want to give anything away. She has a lot of challenges that she's going to have to overcome throughout the duration of this film, which is great, because that means that she's more than just a cardboard cutout character. You end up realizing this is more of a human story. It's a character-driven movie. It's not a movie about robots punching each other. I can see that leaving certain people disappointed, but for folks like myself, and I know many of you out there who grew kind of tired of where all of this universe was headed, I mean, this is so refreshing. And it's nice to see this kind of evoking what a lot of past Spielberg films had managed to pull off so successfully. John Cena plays sort of the bad guy in this movie. You could call him that if you want. Now, here's an issue I had. He was torn, clearly, between going over-the-top funny John Cena and I'm going to be this serious actor and really portray somebody on screen that you're going to want to be against. And he did a fantastic job whenever he was in that mode. And the silly John Cena was fine, but for this type of movie and the style that it's shot in, you have to pick your battles. He tried to have his cake and eat it too, and it really just felt like there was an uneven balance. I needed either serious John Cena or goofy over the top, we're all going to laugh because haha, it's John Cena doing his thing. Trying to bring those two together, at least in this picture, just doesn't work. But he's not bad, so don't think I'm throwing him out completely. I just wish he would have picked a path and stuck with it. Now, the title character, Bumblebee, is great too. We get a little bit of background on him. How come he doesn't talk? We see what that's all about. We see some more origin story explained, but it's all done in the movie that's not a flashback kind of explanation. None of it's boring. All of it is relevant to the relationship between Charlie and Bumblebee. You see, that's what's so special about this. I got very sick very fast of so many of these movies that are kind of like what you'd expect this to be. Trying to give you flashbacks, trying to speak all of this boring exposition into the camera, and this movie manages to avoid all of that, and it just kind of gets the show on the road, and I appreciate that. All of the scenes where we are in Charlie's garage, and it's between her and Bumblebee, are maybe the best scenes in the entire film. Every time we get back to that garage, we're happy to be there. We're thrilled, because we know we're being treated to something special. And that's what's so shocking about this movie, is the caliber in which it is. If you told me that one day you're going to get more of an intimate story in a Transformers film, and that I was going to, like, be glued to the screen the entire time, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought you would just be a crazy man talking. You might as well tell me that they're gonna end up making, I don't know, a great Teletubbies film one day. It's just not gonna happen. But Peter, you didn't mention Timmy the Tooth. There was an action scene in the third act of the movie, again, without getting too into detail, where I did drift a little bit, but I was brought back into it just as quickly. So the timing, the impeccable timing of this movie, oh my God, thank you. Thank you, Hollywood. Thank you, Travis Knight. Thank you to the writer. Thank you to the cast and crew. Thank you for not boring me. Thank you for not making a 2.5-hour endless film where you're just going, oh, okay, do I have anything left in this soda? I don't know. Do you have any popcorn? I wonder how much longer we have to go here. God, what a refreshing experience. I mean, really, it truly was. And I had no idea that I was going to be in for the time that I had with Bumblebee. It is an emotional picture. Yeah, I said it. I mean, you're going to get all the feels with this one. And you're going to laugh. You're going to maybe hold back tears. It's effective. Again, they're channeling the things that worked. And the most obvious reference we can come up with is E.T., because it's clearly drawing a lot from that. But it's also not trying to rip it the hell off, which is great. It's inspired by. And that's what we want to see, because that carries the torch. You know, it pushes these movies forward. It keeps us from getting trapped into, well, just put a bunch of CG up on the screen and have them smash through a building and then have them punch the other guy. You know, let me stop myself there. I do like me some mindless action. It's interesting because even though this movie takes place in the late 80s, you're not constantly bombarded with references. They only show up when it's kind of relevant. Other than that, nobody's sitting there like pounding it into you. I'm going to give Bumblebee an 8 out of 10. This is one of the year's biggest surprises. And there's been a few. There haven't been many based on the films I've seen, but this is one of them. And I had no idea I was going to love this as much as I did. I thought it would be a good time. Best case scenario, I'd really enjoy myself. But that was an understatement. I thought this was spectacular. I'll be buying the Blu-ray when it comes out. The first words I said coming out of this theater were, I thought that was kind of great. What did you think of Bumblebee? Did you find it to be as spectacular as I did? Because I had no idea going into this. And again, I'm not saying it's going to be the next E.T. or the next Jurassic Park. But you know, come to think of it, if an elementary school kid hasn't been exposed to those movies and sees Bumblebee for the first time at an early impressionable age, maybe it will resonate with them in the same way that those Spielberg movies had an impact on us when we were young. I don't know. I'm not making that claim. Just wondering. Let me know in the comments how you felt about Bumblebee, because I don't know, did you agree with me on this? Or you think I'm totally crazy and I'm a maniac? And that's another thing too. You can hit subscribe and stay inside the mind of a movie maniac.